Good morning, dear students, respected viewers and honorable guardians. Welcome to online class brought to you by VIII School and College, Munshirat, Fulgaji, Feni. Dear students, I know all of you are doing great and studying minutely. Dear students, I have a class for you. Before going to our class, let me introduce myself. I am Shimarani Bonik and I have been working as a teacher of English in VIII School and College, Munshirat, Fulgaji, Feni. Dear students of 8 and 10, this class is made for you. Let's move on to our today's class. Dear students, can you guess something about the sentences? I am going to read out the sentences for your better understanding. Number 1. Why did she punish you? Number 2. Why were you punished by her? Number 3. When will you return the ticket? And number 4. When will the ticket be returned by you? Dear students, our today's lesson based on these sentences. So try to guess. Okay, thank you. You have rightly guessed that our today's topic's name is Changing Sentence, Voice of Interrogative Sentence. Learning outcomes. After completing the lesson, you will be able to tell about the voice, narrate interrogative sentence, and solve the problem of that voice. First of all, we have to know what is voice. Voice is the form of the verb which shows whether the subject does the work or something done to it. Classification of voice. There are two types of voice, active voice and passive voice. Now, we have to know about the active voice and passive voice. Active voice expresses the performance of the subject. For example, you do the work. Here, use the subject and doer of the active voice. Do is a verb and the work is the object of the active voice. Now passive voice. Passive voice expresses an action performed upon the subject. For example, the work is done by you. The work was the object of the active voice and the work becomes the subject of the passive voice. The work is third person. That's why we have to use is. Then done. It is the third form or verb 3 or past participle of the verb do. Then you have to use preposition by, and after that you have to write the objective form of the subject you. Dear students, it is noted that use nominative and subjective form are same. Now, interrogative sentence. The sentence which asks a question is an interrogative sentence. This kind of sentence usually ends with a note of interrogation, I mean question mark, instead of a period, I mean full stop. An interrogative sentence can be either affirmative or negative. For examples, do you want to go there? Did you see her? Have you watched the movie? Why haven't you completed your homework? Don't you know who she is? Can't we be friends again? Dear students, interrogative sentence is divided into two categories. Number 1, yes or no question. For example, are you a student? Number 2, WH question. For example, what is your name? Now, our today's topics, voice of interrogative sentence. Let's see how to solve the problem. Dear students, let's solve the problem. Who did the work? Dear students, if you find who in an active voice, then you have to write by whom instead of who. Then was, I mean auxiliary verb according to tense and person. Our active voice was written in past tense. That's why you have to write was. Then object, subject. The work was the object of the active voice. Now it will be the subject of the passive voice. Then you have to write verbs past participle. Here deeds past participle form is done, and last of all you have to put question mark. So our passive voice will be by whom was the work done. Now another one, who is cooking the dish? Accordingly you have to write by whom. Then auxiliary verb is according to tense and person. Then object, subject, the dish. Dear students, you have to write being instead of ing. Being is the symbol of continuous tense. Our active voice was written in present continuous tense. Then you have to write verbs past participle. I mean cooked. Cooked is the past participle form of the verb cook. And last of all you have to write note of interrogation, I mean question mark. Another example, who has broken the toys? Likewise, you have to write by whom, then auxiliary verb according to tense and person. Here you have to write have, because the toys plural form. Then you have to write been. If the active voice written in present perfect tense, then you have to write have been or has been according to tense while doing passive voice. Then you have to write been. And now verbs past participle. Broken. Broken is the past participle form of the verb broke. Broke, broke. Broken. Break, broke, broken. Then you have to write note of interrogation. Now another example, who will clean the floor? Accordingly, by whom will the floor be cleaned? By whom will the floor be cleaned? Another example, whom do you want? You have to write who instead of whom. Then auxiliary verb according to tense and person. Then verbs past participle. Wanted. Wanted is the past participle form of the verb want. Plus, then you have to write preposition by. And then subjects, object. You know, the nominative and objective form of you are same. And last of all, you have to put question mark. Another example, whom did they reward? Accordingly, you have to write who instead of whom, then auxiliary verb was, then verbs past participle rewarded, then by preposition, then subjects, object, them, and last of all you have to put note of interrogation. Another example, whom are they beating? Likewise, you have to write who instead of whom, then auxiliary verb according to tense and person. Then you have to write being instead of ing, because being is the symbol of continuous tense. Our active voice was written in present continuous tense. Then you have to write verbs past participle, beaten, then preposition by, after that subject, object, them, and last of all you have to put note of interrogation, I mean question mark. Dear students, now evaluation, what we have learned today. Dear students, tell me What is voice? Yes, you are right. Thank you. Tell about interrogative sentence. Okay, thank you. Change to active voice into passive from today's lesson. Well done. Thanks again. Dear students, now I am going to give you a homework. Our today's homework is change the voice into passive. I am going to read out the sentences for your better understanding. Number A, who did it? Number B, who killed the crocodile? Number C, whom did they what? Number D, who taught you English? And last one, E, whom are they calling? Dear students, now we are at the end of our today's session. I hope you enjoyed the class. Don't forget to learn. Wear mask when going out. Stay home, stay safe, because you are our future Bangladesh. Goodbye, best wishes, good luck and thank you.